Welcome in, everyone, to the Challenge After Show. Today, Pam and I are talking All-Star Season 3, Episode 3, Treehouse of Horrors. Ooh, I know, it's a spooky non-Halloween episode, but yeah. Pamela, how are you?
I'm doing good. Just watched this, ready to talk about it. Enjoyed the episode.
I,
Good. You?
Pam, this episode was awesome. It's must-watch TV.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
loving
I'm
everything
excited.
about it. Yeah, I don't know why, but it's just like everything about it is just so good.
It was very good. It's funny, I watched the recap from last week, and they did a really good job. Like, they sort of showed all the alliances being formed, and they showed who was against who, and then who won in the elimination. It was a really good prepper for the episode.
It certainly was. Pamela, your computer is really, should we retry to reconnect possibly?
Is it, let's try, what's it doing?
No, now it's coming in better. I just want to make sure because I didn't want the whole episode to be there. I think it was just the initial connection of us. I think we're
Sometimes
good now.
It needs a minute.
It's good. Yeah, you're coming in clear now. Wow.
All right, it's got to warm up the old bones, and it is coming at you.
Well, we went over that your computer's a 2013, Pam. 10 years old, this thing's been kicking around.
It is. It really is. It might be time for a new computer soon, but
it might have just been the internet. So I think we're okay now.
Patreon, if you're listening and you're not a Patreon subscriber, this is your chance to join for just $1 a month, right? $1 a month. And all those people that join, the more that join, I can get a computer, and we won't have these technical difficulties.
It's funny too, because your computer won't do the blur. We can't get the blur on your Zoom for some. I don't know what's going on.
Nope, just nasty old wall.
No, it's okay. I love. Here we go. So the episode starts off basically by showing us all these alliances that you just mentioned. Mm-hmm. And I got to ask you, are you on the Treehouse side, which is like a bunch of people, Veronica, Tina, Jemmy, Kayla, Sylvia, Ronnie, Derek, or are you on the Kellyanne and Kendall side? That's the question.
Okay. So I learned this about myself when I watched Good Guys versus Bad Guys about 10 years ago. That was a season of the challenge, Good Guys, Bad Guys. And unfortunately, I am indeed a bad guy.
Really?
And I am 1,000,000% team Tina, Jem, V. Like, I don't want to be exactly, because, I don't love Kayla, don't know Ronnie, love that Derek is in the room with the girls, but Tina, Jem, V, like, definitely are who I would hang out with over anyone else, it's just a true fact. Like, I would just kind of mean girl with them. I have to say it, whether or not mean, but we'll get to it a little later about Kendall, because I totally get people's issues with her, even though I like her and technically she's correct. Or on the other hand of that, I'd like to say I would follow with Janae, who's not like really either, who's sort of kind of neutral in this.
Yeah, they don't seem to have her in either alliance. They do talk about other alliances. Like, she's obviously with MJ. That's her alliance. Her and MJ, they're going to be ride or die together. Speaking of ride or die, did you hear about Challenge Season 38, by the way? Ride or die?
Oh, it's sort of. We got some tips on the Instagram, but since I haven't been thinking about 38 so much, because we've got so many other things going on, I haven't really.
I just subconsciously said ride or die, and that is supposedly the theme that they're going for in the new season. So that's basically all we know. We know nothing else.
My poor brain can only handle a few shows at a time. And right now I'm thinking about this, Real World, and X on the Beach. So
I know we're covering 3.
Yeah. So I'm sort of taken up with that. But yeah, my favorite are Veronica and Tina. I was sort of disappointed with Jem over the Tori situation, but I still, enjoy her commentary and her snark. So I like those girls.
Although I do not agree with Kendall's decision tonight, I don't know where it came from. I just want a reason for things when I watch this show. And that literally seemed like it came out of left field. It didn't make any sense to me. However, I am all about the good guys when I watch that season, unlike you who want the bad guys, which is fine. So I am all about Team Kellyanne and Kendall. Not only do I think that I just like that they are obviously the underdogs here because there's so many less of them in this alliance, but also I think they're really good competitors and deserve to make it to a final here. Pamela, your
On
internet
that, I agree.
is
So this
next.
is, I'll get into it now. Bad connection.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I should.
Can you hear me and see? Hold on. I'm going to take it out of the bedroom and hopefully it'll improve. So bear with us, gang.
Yeah, because see,
And
so
I will
yeah,
go into my office where I don't have to.
you've been filming in the office mostly, and we haven't had
Yeah.
any issues. So I'm wondering if
Oh.
that is what's going on.
Yep. All right. How is it now?
Well, I mean, it's been 2 seconds, but it seems to be a little bit better.
Okay. Hey. All right. So,
Yeah, that seems a lot better already.
okay,
But
it's better. I mean, I'm in a room that's like less. Anyway, who cares?
all right. So I just mentioned the Kellyanne and Kendall thing. What do you think of what I just said?
So let's get into this. I agree with you that, like, what are you thinking, Kendall? And she does this, as we saw on the season when she missed the jump. Kendall, I agree with you. Kellyanne and Kendall, physically real competitors. They're probably the most fit people there. They're the most athletic. I agree. I understand the girl's annoyance with Kendall. Like, is she wrong? No. It's almost like an Amber B situation. Is she wrong? Does she deserve this? Not really. Is she super fucking annoying? Yes. She's like, I don't know. I hate this. I'm nauseous. She's so whiny. Again, like, it's an uncomfortable position, but it's like, you have it. Think about it instead of on the moment. Think about what you're doing. There's a room of girls that hate you, 8 of them that are gunning for you. You're going to sabotage your friends, a guy. Like, none of it makes any sense. And it's annoying because it's like, for John A, I get it. It's like, okay, well, that was completely nonsensical and offensive to me. So, like, I'm going to vote you in. Like, what is wrong with you? Kellyanne said, she's like, instead of playing nice, we have to play smart for our alliance instead of like being nice because there's a room of people gunning for us. And it's really dumb that she would do that. Like, so stupid. She should have picked the strongest girl on that in the treehouse, maybe Kayla, and sabotaged her.
But look, I like what Kendall said at that opening challenge. She said, hey, can I pick a guy? Hey, can I pick myself? Jordan gave her the out already. He said, Kendall, just give it to me. I'm fine with it. So this would have caused no issues at all if she had just listened to Jordan. That's my point. Are you hearing me? What I'm saying?
Nothing. I'm hearing you. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's delayed again, this internet thing. I don't know if I should just reconnect with you, and then I'll just edit them together.
Well, let's try a little more because I did move. It should work. Mine says it's on a full blast, so it shouldn't have any issues. Kendall's annoying. That's the point. Her decisions make no sense and she gets really whiny. So even though I'm on her side logically, I'm like, ugh. If I was physically there, I'd be like, eye roll. She's annoying.
Yeah, she doesn't bother me as much as I feel like she should with some of the decisions she makes. I think it's just because she's such an underdog with Kellyanne that I always try to go for the underdog. So that's where I'm at with them. I wrote F the treehouse. That's what I wrote down. I don't like Jemmy, that. Sylvia's whatever. I don't know Ronnie. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not, I don't like how many there are. Like, they literally, the way that they won that challenge today was, hey, let's pass the ball to each other because we're all working together. It's like, well, that's a great plan and strategy, but it doesn't work for who I want to win, obviously. So I was mad about that. And in a way, nothing's not fair, but at the same time, there's no way Kellyanne and Kendall are going to take on 4 girls that are just passing the ball, making a touchdown, like someone had mentioned tonight.
Well, they did. It didn't
Jordan
work
said
because,
that.
Yeah, it didn't work because Veronica lost. So,
but that was the opening drive where everyone was just desperate to get a ball, and there was only one less ball there. Later on, you could see there was a lot less balls, and that's why they were able to pass it to each other because only a couple balls to choose from. At that point, there was only one less ball, so it wasn't going to make a big difference passing it to each other.
Yeah. I don't know. Kendall's whininess is what, but it's like, I don't know. Like, she always takes on this, like, leave alone me thing. And I find it super irritating, even though I logically am with her. Again, I'm like, and again, my note from the girls competition, Ronnie, who we don't know, I think you or I very well, was looking good out there.
She was throwing some bows, it was nice to see her throwing some haymakers.
Yeah, she's warming her way into my heart. And the treehouse, I don't care about Sylvia and Kayla, but the OGs I have a place in my heart for.
Well, we're going to get into those old G's and what happened to a couple of those old G's tonight. Let's quickly talk about Wes versus Yes, because they have their first talk. And we've been hearing a lot about this, how they just come from different sides and how they could make great rivalry television and all that stuff. Did Yes want to just give Wes the sabotage tonight? Like he could use it on whoever he wanted to? Was that because Yes didn't want to ruffle any feathers or cause any waves? Is that what I was hearing in that conversation?
He was sort of feeling out what he should do. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's super delayed, but I'm just going to ignore. Okay. I'm going to ignore it from now on. Just keep going. Okay.
He was feeling out Wes, I think. I think he was saying, I could give it to you to use, or he was toying with it. He was playing a Wes game with Wes, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, but Wes wasn't buying it for 1 second. I mean, Wes is such a good reality star with the stuff that he's saying in the comment area. Oh, it was so good.
He was, but at the same time, Yes did have the power and he did use it on Wes. And I thought Yes was funny too. He was like, this date is going awful.
Yeah. Well, look, let's be honest. They're both great reality stars. And the problem is I would love if they were on the same team, but I guess that wouldn't make for as great television, but I like both these guys. So it's like, well, who am I rooting for if they go against each other? Probably Wes, just because I've liked him longer. And I would like to see Yes have to earn his stripes a little bit by going into an elimination. So we'll have to see what happens with all of that.
Yes. And I do Yes the word, not the person. And I think we might, I sense a friendship, like a begrudging friendship potentially building. So we'll see. Like, I don't know, but I could see them, if it comes down to it, teaming up together.
Well, it looked like, tonight Wes went to Jordan and asked for his help. I'd love to see them team up too, but that's never going to happen. Even Wes said I begrudgingly had to go ask for his help. So, I mean, Wes is the lone wolf that like literally has some people on strings for a puppet, and then he just cuts the strings when he's done with them. I don't know if he's ever going to have he says, I mean, Nehemiah always says that him and Wes are working together, and Wes has admitted that him and Nehemiah are friends off the show, but they literally aren't showing any conversations with them this season because they're purposely not talking to each other because even Nehemiah said he's worried about having a target on his back if he associates with Wes. Mm-hmm. So there's that as well.
Yes. I don't know. We're going to have to see. I don't know who Wes is loyal to or what kind of game he's playing right now, but it is sure fun to watch, I'll say.
And this season is so good so far. It's only 3 episodes in. It is so fun to watch. It's must-see television. I'll say it over and over and again. And for people on the YouTube that haven't checked it out yet, get Paramount Plus and watch this damn show, because then you get to also watch Homecoming, which is another great reality show. And you're getting all that for the price of $6 a month. And we don't even have them as our sponsor. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the challenge of the day. Shall we?
Yeah. So I liked also the sort of flashbacks about people's lives and where they're at now. It made me enjoy Sylvia, who I don't usually care about or care for. And I liked her little, in my life, I'm in a relationship, I have a stepson, I'm less neurotic about winning, which I thought was a good insight. It's true that the stakes are different and we might see a different side of her, maybe not. Poor MJ, I thought that was a super bummer. And it's funny because I like a lot of these people and I don't know who I'm rooting for because I like everyone until something like this happens. And I'm like, no, not MJ. So I guess I want MJ to be there.
Yeah, like I didn't care at all that MJ got it. I was like, whatever, it's fine.
I did. I really like MJ and John A. I like that relationship. I like that friendship. I like that it's sort of them against, almost that they're each other's only real alliance. I have such a bad taste in my mouth from when John A was originally on the show all those years ago. I just never thought she was a good player. I thought she was kind of a waste of space out there. And she even admitted tonight, which I do appreciate. She said, look, I feel like I've leveled up.
because Wes knows me as this player that wasn't good back in the day. She says, I feel like I've leveled up now, so maybe Wes will want to work with me. I don't know. So I at least appreciate that she could admit that she wasn't a good player, because in my head, I'm thinking, did she always think that she was like good and capable of things? Because maybe in All-Stars, she's obviously performing well. She freaking won last season, when we don't have to get into the controversy with that. But yeah, at least she admitted that back in the day, because I've like, was I not seeing things on TV properly? Because I always thought she was an awful player and did not play the game to win. She was just trying to be on reality TV and party. That's the way I looked at her. So yeah.
Agree, but I 100%, there's these people like Mark, Derek, Brad, who have always been great, which is great, but I like a little developmental arc for the OGs. Right, it's true. It's been, you know, these people are late 30s to 50 now. They are different people, some of them, than in their capabilities than they were in their 20s. And for some of them, it's always been a backyard barbecue kind of games. And for some of them, they've always been great. And for Janae, she was not there, and she literally leveled up. Now she's equal to the other women, if not better. There was a time when those other girls could have kicked her ass, and now it's a much more level playing field. The guys, I feel like the winner guys have all been consistently super fit and buff and athletic, but these girls that are OGs, the majority of them were never fierce competitors. So now,
and let's be honest here, Janae, like we said, she doesn't really have a lot of girls like on her side in theory. So when she actually got second place in this challenge today, and she didn't have all the help that the treehouse of girls and Derek did. So it's interesting to see she got second place. I mean, that shows that she must have performed well, and that no one was passing her the ball and saying, here, Janae, we need you to get through the next round, like Jemmy threw it to Sylvia for her to get third place. So yeah, Sylvia's not doing that on her own without that help. And now I'll admit, Kayla, it seemed that she didn't get that much help. I don't think anyone passed her the ball. I think Kayla, like I said last episode, I think Kayla is just going to be a strong competitor and a tough cookie to beat, as they say.
I mean, she said, me and Sylvia are looking out for each other. So if
in that regard, Kayla grabbed 2 balls and threw one to Sylvia. So Kayla's doubling up. If anything, she's not like asking to receive a ball, at least not in this challenge.
No, Kayla in this arena of women is one of the strongest. I would say Kayla is a strong
and the youngest, and that has to help her, you know, in her victories here.
Yes. Again, we have to, and Kayla, as far as I know, there's a lot of puzzles mixed in with this strength in this show. They do even it out with a good deal of puzzles. So if you're like Kellyanne, who couldn't put the star together, that's going to come at you. I'm sorry. You can't not be able to put 6 pieces to form a star together and win. And again, back to Janae, even if we're going to say, oh, she wasn't the real winner, then she was the second place winner. You know what I mean? Even if
I'm trying to give her props here. I mean, she admitted she wasn't a great competitor now, and she got second place tonight. I mean, that's all proving her theory and my theory correct. So it's hard for me to go against what she's saying in that regard. Moving on to the gentleman's side, MJ right away, it looked like that vest made his leg collapse into that mud where he wasn't even going to perform well. So I'm like, okay, well, if MJ's really that far down, at least I know Wes is going to be able to get his ball across just to avoid the elimination, because that's all I wanted. I knew he wasn't going to win the whole thing. You're not going to win the whole thing with 25 or 35 extra pounds on you. Mm-hmm. That is not, it's an impossibility, especially when you're not on a steady surface and you've got a bunch of other aspects to it where it's slippery, and other dudes with not the vest on, they're just going to fly by you. So I was happy to see that Wes, and you know, thank you to Kendall, because Kendall, before she even chose MJ, said, oh, I don't want it to be unfair for Wes. Like, I don't know if they're working together like secretly, but she didn't want Wes to have an unfair, I don't know. I think Kendall was just mixed up and she had no idea what was going on. So that it is what it is.
Well, sorry to interject with that. We have to add maybe to our 6th strength, or this is the like asterisk strength
strategy.
Like, why? No, is cool under pressure. If you're someone that loses their shit every time you're like called upon to do something, you're not going to be able to, like, if you crack under pressure.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, some people would call that you're just cold-blooded, where you don't get worked up.
No, I'm not saying you have to be cold-blooded and like manipulative. I'm
Ice in
saying,
your veins. You never heard ice in your veins
of
before?
course, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you can't crack under the minutest of pressure or you're going to lose on. It's like Natalie on that season where she was a really good daily competitor and then she always lost when her and Paulie lived
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the redemption house. She wasn't good under pressure and she couldn't do eliminations. And guess what? You're not going to win a final if you can't do an elimination. And Kellyanne, I think whenever it's like, Kellyanne, you're up, is like shrinks.
She's always, yeah, she's always been that way too. So I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, not Kellyanne, Kendall. That's what but
Oh,
yeah.
well, Kellyanne too. I mean, she couldn't do the damn puzzle. So,
but Kendall, both of them, it's like, Kendall, if you can't make decisions, if you can't work under pressure, if you can't, then you can't win eliminations. If you can't deal with the focus on you, then like you're not going to be able to.
I think her greatest goal here is then going to be to avoid eliminations, which she did. Wait, no, she didn't. She does avoid eliminations tonight. We'll get into that in a little bit. It was very, I'm sorry, but once Tina went down, didn't we already know right then and there they were going to cancel it? They did it last week when Melissa went down. They automatically canceled out the elimination.
Yeah, but Melinda was.
Melinda, yeah.
Was supposed
I'm thinking Melissa because of real.
Melinda was supposed to go into the elimination and she went down and said, I'm not competing. It's different.
Yes, but once she said, I'm not going to compete, they just gave her a free ride. So I thought, well, if one girl can't compete, they're just going to give the other one. Then how about when Jemmye was going to go home though? Then you must have known, right? At that point. Yeah. There's no way in hell they can lose 3 girls in one episode. They can't. They just need the numbers.
At that point, it made sense. I want to go back to the men's elimination.
Yeah, we need to do the men's. And okay. I have one thought on the men's, but I'll let you go first.
Mine was just coming in hot. Nehemiah came back today. Like, Yes, sort of pulled his arm away.
Yeah.
And Nehemiah came out and was like, I'm going to give you a beat down. I'm blowing off steam before I beat you up. And I was like, Nehemiah, I don't know. I might have to eat my words about liking you better this season because you weren't coming in so hot. Nehemiah's not playing.
Yeah, I wrote down, Nehemiah, you ain't doing shit. That's what I wrote down, right? For that. I'm like, he's not, what are you talking about, dude?
Like, yes, yeah.
When you're in that battlefield, anything goes. Like, people are throwing elbows, people are hitting you in the jaw. Like, it is what it is, Nehemiah. Like, dude, you weren't even close to winning this thing. So friggin' relax. You're just mad that because Yes is a smaller dude, he takes you out and ruins your chances of winning. You're just going to go after him. I'd like to see you say that stuff to Mark. Why don't you say that stuff to Mark? And then maybe I can kind of be like, all right, at least you're going after someone a little bit bigger than you. Give me a friggin' break, Nehemiah. Right. So I couldn't stand that. But my overall thoughts on this were Brad won every single round. And I'm pretty sure he got first place every single time. That's Brad insanity.
Was insanity. He's outstanding. I wrote that too. Like, yay, Brad.
But like, not only did he just get through every round, he got first place in every round.
Was he just flying under the radar, or was he better than everyone? I don't know. Well,
I think. I mean, they somewhat mentioned at the end, like, wow, Brad is just like dominant. But like, I think he dominated everybody. And I think obviously no one was good, but the guys were different. The guys weren't really working in teams, as you saw. The guys were just like every man for themselves. Let's get this done. So I don't know if that's smart or not smart, but that seemed to be what the strategy was there. Just get a ball and get out.
I liked that. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
The guys playing fair, not dirty.
So Veronica did not show up today. She's immediately going into elimination as of right now. And then MJ, who's like knee could not hold 35 pounds. He's going into elimination. We get our authorities, and that is Kayla and Brad, number 1 spot. They'll have the sabotage next week. Jonna and Derek get the 2nd spot, and then Sylvia and Jordan. Sylvia, however, I mean, I don't think Sylvia deserved it, but that is what it is. They worked as a team, and that's why she's in that situation. And that's why the numbers in the authority now are pro Treehouse. You're probably into this stuff. You probably love that they got the numbers in the Treehouse. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying work smarter, not harder. You know my theory, work smarter, not harder. Well, you do what you got to do. Why you exert yourself and don't wait. I mean, like fair, there's fair. And then they've
created a huge alliance, but I'm always going to root for the smaller alliances. That's just who I am. I'm not going to vote for these big ass alliances. When was the Cara Maria one? The bad.
Yes, Cara's
was,
cult.
Cara's cult.
Cara's
Not going to
cult.
vote. Well, that was. What was it really called though? Was it called Cara's cult?
I don't know what they were.
I thought that's what we called it to make fun of it, but I wasn't rooting for Cara's cult. Not going to happen.
I agree, but let's just be real here. We lose, and spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the episode yet,
go watch it.
We lose Tina and Jemmy. That's
I know.
two of the brain trust of the big alliance. So after that, it's Veronica, who I think those were her real people. I love Veronica. I didn't want to see her. And, I love Veronica. Of all those, the most. In fact, I mostly love them because Veronica does. So Veronica, Kayla, Sylvia now, and Ronnie sort of, because they're in the same room. I don't know how strong of an alliance it is.
Yeah.
But I agree. I'm not saying, I'm team Tree. I think it's stupid. I don't care about that alliance. I just like Veronica a lot. So at this point, I don't think that that's a big, strong alliance. When they had 8 people, it was. Now it's 3, maybe.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if Kayla's going to more go to the Sylvia side. Like her and Sylvia are closer than her and Veronica. So I'm wondering who Veronica's allies are at this point, considering she lost her 2 heavy hitters. I wouldn't call Jemmy a heavy hitter, but she does play a good social game. She always seems to find that huge freaking alliance and then just sit in it for a while and make it pretty far in the game. So
what I would like to see is, because I know Veronica and Yes have each other's backs because they were on the same Real World
season of Road Rules, yeah.
And I would like them to sort of team up with John A, and at least for a little while, John A and MJ.
Has Yes really said who he even wants to team up with? I think Yes I think Yes and Wes, why they're so great. Both of them are like on their own sides and they're trying to use people, or not Yes, because Yes doesn't want to be that guy, but they never seem to like get these huge alliances together. They just want to kind of do their own thing and work their strategy through the game.
Absolutely. They feel that they don't need it, and that's sort of true. And I don't know if they have an alliance, but Yes and Jordan are definitely vibing and respect each other. Like they always, if you
think so?
Oh, absolutely.
Because Jordan tonight.
Yes and Jordan.
Yeah, I'll have to disagree, because Yes said he agreed with Wes tonight and said, I think that Yes should go in and see an elimination. So how could he be? What's that?
I think Jordan's just playing a game with Wes. Whether he thinks, again, I think Jordan is a strategist too. So maybe it is best for his game to get rid of Yes, and he does think he should go in. But Yes hasn't seen an elimination. But they always, I'm not saying that Jordan wouldn't ever put him in, but they definitely have they like each other, whether they are in alliance or not. They're always like getting each other's, like literally touching each other when they do a good job, or like.
It's interesting too, because during the Authority, which we're going to get into next, Jordan was purposely throwing away both his votes. He threw away his male vote and he threw away his female vote, knowing that there was no way he could win. So even if he did agree with Wes that Yes should go and prove himself, he didn't vote for Yes. You know who he voted for?
A burn vote.
Nehemiah. He threw Nehemiah in. Like, it's such a burn vote. And then did you see who Brad voted for?
Who did Brad vote for?
He voted for Wes. Even though last week he was claiming that he wanted to save Wes, but I think it was maybe another burn vote situation because too many people had already voted Cyrus, and neither of them, both Brad and Jordan, didn't want Cyrus in there because they thought he deserved to stick around a little bit longer. So, yeah.
And I guess with Mark and Cyrus, I guess they're the oldest. To me, I'm like,
they are.
I know, but Cy looks tough. I wouldn't have wanted to go against Cyrus if I was MJ. I mean, it wound up working out, but
come on, you saw it in there. The guy, his arms gave out eventually. He couldn't throw the bag over it would hit the top and fall back in a couple times. I mean, yeah, I'd want to go against him for sure.
Obviously, they're seeing more than I am, but I was like, he looks tough to me just because he's older. But I guess I was like, oh, you're just picking the oldest hanging fruit. I thought that was a funny line.
Yeah, it was a good line.
I guess it's true. And it did, obviously, spoiler alert, work out. But I was like, Cy certainly does not look like someone I would want to go
Look,
against.
I'll say this. TJ hyped him up at the end once he lost. And he said, Cyrus, you're one of the greats, the OGs and stuff. I bet if I look at Cyrus's record, and I really don't know it off the top of my head right now, I bet it's not that great, because I remember him getting eliminated quite often growing up watching him on the show. And I have to say growing up, because I was probably freaking 16 watching this 20-something-year-old do his thing on the show. I can look up real quick here.
We
what
get
the
it.
heck?
He's old. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, go on, Pamela. Yeah.
Not you, but everyone, I guess, and they won. But I love Cy, and again, I have a little aside while you're looking it up.
All right.
I love Derek. This is the reason, like in a heart shape, that I love Derek. Right before they're starting their sort of powwow at the 70s party, so they have a 70s party. Everybody looks cool. Everyone's like strategizing, and Derek is like, "You're not wearing your glasses? Can I wear them?" Whoa! Like,
yeah, Derek was having a good time. It's because it's good to see a mixture of people, some strategizing, some partying, and that was nice to see. I definitely made me laugh. And then obviously the producers are giving them these outfits. They're not showing up with 70s garb, not that much of it. And who has that lying around? Right. So it's funny when Brad gave him the glasses, and Brad's like, "Hey, be careful with those." Like they're his own personal property. Like he's really worried about it. That made me laugh because, like, dude, the producer just handed that to you. Maybe you want to keep them those rose-colored lenses and whatnot. Right. But it's just funny because they weren't yours, Brad. And you're like, "Oh, dude, but yeah, you can wear them, man. But just be careful with them. Like they're his own." I love that stuff.
I like Derek just enjoying the view, though. Everyone's trying to strategize. And again, we see Jonna is no dummy. She's saying, "Are you playing Wes's game? Are you playing this person's game? Or are we playing the authorities game?"
And then they end up playing the authorities game. So, but here's the thing about Jonna is she wanted them to play MJ's game. Let's be real when we say this, because who did MJ want in that elimination? He wanted Cyrus, and guess who had to go against him? Cyrus, right? Wes wanted Yes, but Jonna wanted whatever MJ wanted, and that was Cyrus. So when she's saying those things, let's play the authorities game, she knows she has the numbers and the authority to get Cyrus in there for MJ. So it's MJ's game.
Her game is save your ally, MJ, and he wants Cyrus. So
okay, but she said the authorities game, and it's really, to me, it was MJ's game. So I'm just throwing that there as an example of what she was really saying with those words.
Which was her game. So I sort of still respect. And also back to my point that Jordan and yes, Jordan could have voted for yes then, and he didn't.
It's a burn vote though. Why ruffle feathers with yes? If it comes back to you, hey, just so you know, Jordan voted. Jordan was your only vote in there, because people could go tell yes whatever they want. But now all they can say to yes is he technically voted for Nehemiah. He brought your name up, but he didn't vote for it in the end. I think Jordan's a very smart competitor when it comes to stuff like that.
I do too, but I also think if Jordan in his heart of hearts felt that yes should go in and would go in, he would have voted for him. I don't think he.
Not if he knows he doesn't have if he's close to getting the numbers, then yes.
Agreed.
All right, real quick before we get too far off topic, Cyrus appeared on 5 different challenges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He won his original extreme challenge. Which is funny because they talked about the extreme challenge on Real World Homecoming today, if you want to check that out. And then he went to a final in the Inferno, and that's it. And he is 1 and 2 in eliminations. So again, but then again, it says he has 29 daily wins. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty good.
It's not, but remember that, again, like 30 years ago in his heyday. No, I'm sorry, Cyrus, whatever.
No, but that's okay. A daily win was what?
Well, they used to have, it was also teams. Like, is that a personal rank?
I know, I agree.
Good guys, bad. That's 1 out of 2. You have a 50-50 chance of getting a daily win.
And a daily win could be like you won at hide and go seek. I mean, we're not talking like these crazy daily challenges anymore. They were pretty chill, like, you know.
Your team, and there were 3 teams. So you have a 1 out of 3 chance. Like, I don't think those are individual daily.
And that's what I mean. Yeah, 29 is not really, it's probably daily wise, maybe 13 of those he actually somehow won by himself, but probably, who knows? Who the hell knows? I'm not going back to the year 2000 to watch him, because when he won the Extreme Challenge, we learned tonight on Real World Homecoming, that was 2001, because Julie and Jamie also competed on it. That's why they talked about it on that show. So once you watch Real World Homecoming, we can talk about that more. So, yeah.
And again, props to someone like Direct winning those 20 years ago, and is now almost winning every All-Star season. There are those people that can do it. Not everybody, you know. Some people, even if you're in shape and great and strong, age you got the wear and tear. You got a CT that for some reason, like, again, he's younger, but won 20 years ago and is winning today. And I'd be hard pressed to see someone beat him. So
yeah. And when I started watching the challenge, I think that was kind of when Cyrus was on his way out. Like these guys were just a little bit too young for him to be competing against. So that's why I probably saw him go 1 and 2 in eliminations. And I was like, well, he's not that great. So maybe my vibe on him is skewed a little bit because I saw him at the tail end of his original challenge career. But at the same time, like we said, 29 daily wins. We don't really know if that's good or not, but it sounds good on paper is all I'll say.
So real quick, we see Tina leave. That's sort of apropos of nothing.
That's our next thing that we're seeing. Yeah. But right before
which is authority. A super bummer. I truly wish they would keep Tina there to like side comment with TJ. I really honestly do. I think she's so great. And I like their dynamic, and I'm super bummed. She does bring a lot to the show, whether, you know, we like her or not. She's certainly a personality, and she left early last time. It just sucks. But
I know.
The best thing about this production, why this show is so good, the song they were playing.
Oh, I wrote it down because it was.
What was it?
How am I supposed to live without you?
Right. It was like watching 9/11 videos. Like you're like,
oh, Jesus, like, I hope it wasn't that bad. But yeah,
I mean, they made it so emotional. Like they played
very emotional,
gut wrenching. It was just funny. I mean, that they were having such hardcore tear jerking music playing.
It was like those dog and cat commercials with who the hell is it? Gloria Estefan? No, who is it that does those?
Sarah McLachlan.
Gloria
like those videos where the people are coming home from the war to reunite with their dog.
There you go. These are some better examples now. Here we go.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Like playing on your heartstrings, like, oh God. Like that's how this music's sad. Very, very sad. Bummed to see Tina go, because you know I like Veronica. So bummer. It's funny because my two faves, you know, Cara lives, I still don't like, but are like Veronica and Cara, who couldn't be more different, and we know Veronica does not like. So it's funny. Maybe they could be in a frenemies or enemies, or we don't like each other, you know, competitors.
Too bad next season is ride or die.
Yep. Oh, okay.
All right. So the authority. What I liked about the authority this week, Pam, was that they actually showed who voted for who. They went down the line and showed everybody's votes. Last week they did not do that, and that was like, well, then what? How the hell did Wes not get voted in if they had the supposed numbers? It was a whole thing. And we talked about how Brad was able to save him, guaranteed. But this authority, it looked like you just got to vote. Maybe you could try to save somebody, but everyone could vote for whoever the hell they wanted to. No one was really saved. Everyone's name was on the table. They didn't really go over like, oh, you can save her, you can save him. They just said vote, and they did. And they all got to speak their truth at the beginning, and then they all got to vote either way. I loved it. I thought this was the way they should show us the authority every damn week. I want to know what's going on.
Yep.
Okay, so we like that. I'm trying to think here. After anything else with the authority that we want to talk about? I'm just looking at over all my notes.
Nope.
Cyrus and Kendall, you got voted. Boom. Yep. Elimination time. Honestly, but once they so the Jemmy thing that happened was basically that her father is ill. They don't tell us anything about it. They don't tell us if he's like literally going to die or if he's just sick. So I don't know how serious it is. I didn't really know what to think about it. But it was enough for her to want to go home and be with her family. I think she's also the only child. So that maybe played into it as well.
Yeah, but I just liked my LOL as Jemmy's mom. Sounds exactly like her. It's like, hi. Like, and she's like, well, Jemmy, that's your choice. Like, which it was frustrating to me. She's like, well, should I come home? And it's like, well, you called me when I'm recording a show to tell me this. Should I come home?
Yeah. I just wanted to know more. Like, what does her father have? Is he dying of cancer? Then yeah, get your ass home. Or is he just unhealthy and maybe because apparently the dad, all they said was that the dad had called the emergency people. So the ambulance or whatever the hell they referred to, he called them and like last week to like come and help him. So I don't even know what the hell that means. Like she just called 911?
My guess, based on what we saw, was that he's got a condition and it's taken a turn for the worse, that he's sick to begin with. And it's taken a turn if you're calling in ambulatory services or going to the emergency room. And when someone has something like that and it's going bad, you don't know. I mean,
I feel like he must be on his way out the door, unfortunately, if she wanted to leave the show that badly. If he's just like, look, he's been battling this thing, he's fine, but he's like having little spits or spats with it, that's one thing, but it must mean that he's really going downhill fast.
If God forbid they've got a condition and no one knows, and it's taken a turn for the worse, and he could get out of it and pull through for another 2 years, or he could go, you would want to go home.
You want to go home.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right. Like it could wind up that he is fine, because Veronica was like, I hope it turns out okay. I don't think it was a definitive, like, come say your goodbyes or anything. Yeah. But nonetheless, if I had to, if you're given the choice of hopefully it'll be fine, but we don't know.
Yeah. So at this point in the show, we see that Tina and Jemmy go home. In my head, I say, why is everyone super worried now? Or are they not? And they just don't show it to us probably. There's no way Kendall and Veronica thought they were actually going to compete in elimination. And you know what? That's my conspiracy, is they all talked about it in the house, but producers can't show us that because they need us to think that something crazy might happen, when in actuality, 100% chance they knew already they were not going in, even if producers didn't tell them outright. They knew we're not competing. Thoughts?
Dan, TJ plays a wild game.
Okay.
And you can never stand on that for sure. I mean, honestly, I was not like, oh, it's so obvious.
Really?
I didn't know what would happen, because sometimes they're like, we've got two. They throw you for loops all the time here.
So you have another girl go in tonight, and then 3 girls go home in an episode, and 1 guy goes home.
Well, they would have to bring in new girls, but we know they're bringing in someone next week.
Which,
so who knows?
But that's my point. Why have another girl go home? They're just going to bring in another one to try to get the replacement. Now, the replacement, holy crap, they just got to coast over 4 episodes. That must be nice. And something in the comment, we need to ask the comment section here, who the hell do you think the replacement's going to be? Pamela, do you have any idea?
Girl?
It has to be a girl. They're not bringing a dude in because the numbers are off. It's definitely a girl, because they even say, oh, I don't want to go against her. Someone comments that.
Oh, okay. Let's think. I think it could be Anissa.
That's probably who it is, but go on.
I just thought that just came to me.
That's a Tori Deal, possibly, even though she's not an OG, really.
Nah, too young.
Okay, keep going. Good. Let's keep throwing names out there.
Who else was in prior seasons and did?
Well, Pamela, I know who you and I both want it to be, but it's not gonna be.
We both want it to.
Guaranteed, we both want this person to be in. Cara Marie, 100%, yes.
It's not going to be Cara.
I know, and that's why it's such bullshit. That's who it should be.
Ooh, but it would be so good if it was Cara.
And that's the stuff I'm talking about. Get her on the show, you know what I mean? But these people, the person that's there was already in quarantine with the rest of the people and just did not get picked to go in. So I think it's probably an Anissa, or maybe it's probably, but they say, oh, I don't want to go against her. It's got to be Anissa. I don't want to go against her. Got to be Anissa. That's what someone said. Because she's an elimination queen, supposedly.
Yeah, Anissa, Cara would be my guess. And I think a fun joiner to the treehouse to hang around with Veronica and snark that I would enjoy is Marie.
Okay, fine.
I'd love to see Marie come join this game.
She definitely fits the criteria of an OG. Not sure she fits the criteria of All-Star. However, the person has to make it to a final to be on this season.
Her and Cara made it to a
I know they did. They did the stupid stick thing. They tried to use a stick to do something with. They had to break out of a cage or something, and they used a stick, and it did not work. I remember. We were covering that at AfterBuzz at the time.
And they were standing on the thing together. Yeah, they were
all night long. They had to stand on the thing all night long.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. Loved that friendship. So I would love any of those 3. I think potentially it would be Anissa.
I think you nailed it with your first guess. It's Anissa.
Okay, so I like that too. She is a real OG. Just her real how that panned out. It would be good TV.
Yeah, she. I mean, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care who they bring in.
And I feel bad.
They're not going to bring in Cara. That's the only one I'd really want to see. So I don't care. But then again, what if they bring in someone that I haven't thought of in years, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I want that person there. This is amazing. So maybe they do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like if we did a deep dive like who is super random and
I
hasn't
wish I
been in
had
for
my
a long time.
list. I wish I had my list from previous seasons.
Well, one other guest, just because she did the video with Tori and Mark, the MTV's workout video, is Rachel, who I for sure wouldn't want to go against. So that's another
huge.
maybe. Mm-hmm.
That would be awesome. Okay, I'm there for that one too. Plus,
Yeah.
she's good friends with Mark. Mark's on the show, so she'd have a great alliance coming in as well. Oh, that'd be really good, Pam.
Yeah. So tell us in the comments who you think it is, but no if you know.
If you know, come on, don't be that person. But yeah,
don't be that person. But if you're guessing, give us your guesses or your wishes, your wish list.
So we only get a male elimination tonight, just like episode 2. It's going to be MJ versus Cyrus in a game called Wait Up in the arena. And I had my money on MJ the whole time.
This was really tense again for me. This was tense. I didn't know to begin with. I didn't know because Cyrus was a basketball player. It's like I don't know.
They hyped him up as the D1 basketball player and he made no baskets. How ironic was that?
It was 30 years ago that he was a D1. I mean,
no shit, right? Yeah. So like, but my thing too, it's like, dude, have you never played those games at like a Chuck E. Cheese where the basketball rim actually moves around and you have to, he was just, his rhythm was so off. He's like, dude, get up, wait a second, then throw. He was just going like this. And they were all missing. It's like, Cyrus, my man, just wait 2 more seconds for that to come back your way and then throw it in. It didn't help that he wasn't launching them as high, Pamela, either, because that caused him to hit the edge of it. And then it started swinging where MJ's didn't swing nearly as much because he was getting them right over the top. So there was a huge difference there.
It was super tense. And then I was totally thinking MJ's got this because of the weights in the basket. And when MJ said he was a contractor, I thought, oh, yay. And then we cut to the second phase of this where you are banging the thing out. And I was with Janae. She's like, what is MJ tapping around? And I was like, what is happening now? It's anybody's game. It looked really close. And again, could be creative editing. It could have been a landslide. I don't know. But I was really tense. And then we sort of see, and I'm like, MJ is a contractor. He can't be that stupid. He must know that just banging at the center is going to get you a little hole in the center. But if you want to get a hole that you can jump through, you're going to need to get around the edges too. And then bang the center. And
he was making himself a hole. He was making the interior weaker by making himself basically a cutout. You've seen that paper, right? That's easy to rip and stuff. It has all the little dots going all the way down. Well, why is it so easy to rip? Because it's weakened the inner surface between each dot. And that's exactly what he did. Such a smart move. And he made himself a giant hole. I probably would have done what Cyrus did and just blast through the middle. And all of a sudden I got a hole this big and my noggin's not getting through there. MJ, great move. I'm not rooting for him in the long run, but I didn't care. I actually was kind of rooting for Cyrus because I feel like he gets eliminated so quickly, so often. So yeah.
I like Cyrus, and also I have to I'm not trying to rag on him being older when I say he played 30 years. It's just true. When you're playing college basketball, you're 20 and now he's 50. Yeah. It's been a long time. So for me to be like, what do you play basketball? Doesn't mean that lifting weights into a swinging thing is gonna, again, listen, we should all be so bad at these things in our 50s. Again, he's amazing. I think I was rooting for MJ because of because it was such bullshit that he got sabotaged by Kendall. I thought that was crap. And 2, again, I really like Janae and I like that relationship, so I wanted him back. Otherwise, I didn't really have a horse in this.
Let me get your
show or whatever.
Did you see what happened once MJ won?
What?
He got both of Cyrus's stars. He got the one. Cyrus won the elimination against Tyler. And he also got just Cyrus's own star. So now MJ has 3 stars on his shirt. So now we know that that's a fact, that's what happens when you go against someone else that has not just their own star, but another individual star. They get both of them. So MJ has 3 now. That's a lot. So I always say, like I wrote down, I said, eliminations are a blessing and a curse, MJ. You were bitching about going in there, but you got to go who you wanted to go against. And you just picked up 3 stars. Now, we don't know the meaning of them. If they could just not be that great, but TJ is hyping them up to be this amazing thing. So holy crap, MJ. And you got the respect of others to say, hey, look, don't put me in another one because I'm coming for your ass. I think that this elimination really helped MJ, not only with his confidence, but also with him just staying in this game longer and saying, look, I can go into one, I can go into another one.
Agreed. I do like MJ. I like that he's sort of a lone wolf too, the same way, Mark, Brad, Derek, those guys are, a force, and they have each other's backs, I think. So MJ, I think, should start to partner up with some people, and him and John A should start to make some alliances.
Well, they briefly talked about saying, hey, maybe we should do a soft alliance with Wes. Whatever a soft alliance means. I don't hate that. But I also think that they know that Wes isn't going to have their back in the long run, and that they're not going to have Wes's back in the long run. So how much of an alliance really is that? It's kind of a short-term fix.
Yeah.
Like plugging your tire if you hit a nail instead of just getting a brand new tire. It's a short-term fix, I mean, it's not like getting a brand new tire here. So I don't know about that alliance.
I would like to see John and MJ make an alliance with Yes and Jordan. That's a more beneficial alliance.
I don't know where you're getting this Yes and Jordan thing, but okay. I don't see them being partners. I see Jordan looking out for Nia maybe, but not so much Wes.
Oh yeah. Yes. Nia sure has been flying under the radar, neither doing well nor bad, and hasn't had like one comment. Yeah, Nia, what's up with that?
Do you like how Jordan voted her in the authority just because he knew it was a throwaway?
Oh, yeah.
Because he knew, like, he's such a smart player. He knows there's no way Nia is going to get mad at him for that, and he was one of the last people to vote. So he knew there's no way Nia can go in unless everyone, I want to change mine to Nia now. Like, it's not going to happen.
It was the best strategy because there's no one to go tell Jordan voted for you. That's going to be mad. Right. And I'd be like, yep. Oh, well, like nope.
The last thing I want to talk about here before we go is they mentioned in the previews for next week that the people going into elimination next week, it is the heavyweight matchup of the century. Maybe they didn't say that part, but they said it's a huge heavyweight matchup going into elimination next week. I'm like, what? Mark versus Wes? Like, who's his heavyweight matchup?
Darrell versus Brad.
Wes? Maybe Brad versus Mark. I'm just saying, when I think of heavyweight, I think of like the biggest dudes in the house having to battle. Like if Zach were in the house and Zach had to go against Fessy. No, I'm just saying in examples of heavyweights.
Heavyweight, like
thinking of people that are considered heavyweights. Fessy versus Zach. I'm trying to think of like bigger dudes, like, because I mean, heavyweight to me means big, but at the same time, if you had Wes versus Darrell, they're 2 heavy hitters, but they're not heavyweights. I don't know. I have a bad feeling Wes is going in next week, though. I just don't see why I don't know.
Darrell and Mark, I could see being a big heavyweight champ. I mean, there's a lot of people. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see. Maybe he meant heavyweight, like heavy hitter, not heavy.
That just like big, like just Wes is
right,
a heavy.
It's a big. Right, exactly.
I don't know. And so so that's a lot of stuff we have to look forward to. Tell us in the comment section also, who are these heavyweights that got mentioned? Like, I think Derek is the one that's like, oh, we got because you knew Derek wasn't going to be considered a heavyweight. Derek's like, oh, we got 2 huge heavyweights going into this elimination tonight. It's going to be insane. So we'll see what it means. Pamela, any other final thoughts on episode 3, Treehouse of Horrors?
No, just still enjoying it. It's a great, refreshing show. I really enjoy it.
So good.
A pleasure.
I feel like I enjoyed this week more than you did. I really enjoyed this episode.
No, I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I like it. I mean, I'm pretty just like consistently really like it. It doesn't give me,
and what's interesting is I watched Homecoming right before I watched All Stars, and they were both so good this week. Wait till you watch Homecoming, Pamela. It's so good.
I'm excited.
And we're gonna and just so you know, on our Patreon, we're gonna be talking Homecoming and X tomorrow, or actually maybe on Thursday morning or Friday morning. Friday morning.
Doesn't X air Thursday? Yeah, so Friday morning.
We have to do Friday morning for that one, yeah.
Subscribe to our Patreon if you want to hear all our thoughts on Real World Homecoming and X on the Beach.
There'll be a link in the comment section below. And also you can just go to patreon.com/thechallenge-aftershow. I'm still amazed I was able to get that as our actual website handle, whatever you want to call it. So it goes right to us. All right. We'll see you all next week. We can't wait to talk with you more. Comment, because we want to comment back, right, Pamela? We want to comment in the comment section.
Comment.
Yes. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.